What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. That took forever. It's late. It's almost time for the Canelo Alvarez fight. But I saw this video right now popped up for me from Bubba, and it's called "Fake Alpha Males Make It Worse with the Charlie Kirk Situation, Alpha Male Universe." And so I wanted to make sure that I reacted to this. Bubba and I spoke on the phone yesterday, and we talked about a bunch of different things, and this was one of them. So I want to see what he has to say.
And there you have it, folks. I just got the alert on my phone that Charlie Kirk is now dead.
12 seconds later.
Charlie Kirk just got shot. This shit's clearly driven by the hater news. Literally. It's these news channels that brainwash their audience. It's no different from all these haters that are on YouTube that are brainwashing their audience to.
Wow. He really went there? I'm not even going to speak to the first part because I do have a strong opinion on it. But to say that when we make fun of guys, it's just a roast. It's just jokes. That what we do is anywhere close to what just happened and what like the programming stuff. We don't program people. People come to us and they know they're going to laugh, they're going to have a good time. If you can't handle that we're clowning stuff, just don't make that video. You know what I mean? Like, we're all having fun. Not one of us has any hatred when we make these videos and roast people. We're having a good time. But that's a huge leap right there.
Think that the so-called alpha males of the universe are evil.
Welcome back to the Bubba YouTube channel. Now today's video is going to be very different from all of the others. I understand that people love the flow state, the Bubba army in the chat and getting bubbly with. However, we cannot do that today. I understand that comedy is a central tenet of the channel, right? People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that's exactly how this channel is, how the vibe of the channel is and the community, right? But we're talking about a very serious topic and that requires a very serious approach. And what we're talking about today is Charlie Kirk. Now you may have a question in the back of your head saying, Bubba, you talk about grifters, life coaches, alfalfa males. Why are you talking about Charlie Kirk? It doesn't really match your channel. And I think that's a very fair question to have when you clicked on this video, right? And what else?
Before he says anything, I would just like to say this. We like to have fun, right? But when real life hits and it's something this serious where over people not liking someone's opinion, something like that happens, I think everybody should take a second and just think about that, right? I've said on my other channel that, I come from a gangbanging background, a criminal background. And in that world, people, both sides are doing the same thing. And both sides believe violence is the solution, right? Charlie Kirk didn't believe violence was a solution. And the shooter didn't grow up thinking that. These were two, like, productive, normal members of society. And for one to revert to gunplay over someone else's opinion, that's not normal. So I think everybody should have at least thought about this. And whatever your opinion is, it is. But I think, we're going to go back to having fun, and cracking jokes on people. But, at least the seriousness of it should have been, everyone should have gave it a second, to think about it.
I'll say is this. Before I answer that question, I will say this. What happened with Charlie Kirk is unacceptable. At the end of the day, freedom of speech is our central tenet of our nation, and nobody should be taken out because of a difference of opinion. Now, I understand that people really didn't like this guy, and there are people who really love this guy, all right? It's a very volatile, very polarizing topic to talk about. But what we all can agree on at the end of the day is that freedom of speech matters, and such actions like this should not be tolerated. Even if you liked him, even if you hated him, whatever, we can all agree on that. Now, with that right out of the way, I will say this. I'm talking about Charlie Kirk because these alpha males are developing very dangerous narratives about my community, about what we're doing here, our community. My bad. I messed up because this video is a very serious one. I'm kind of messing up on my words. Now, we're going to explore the AMU, the alpha male universe in its entirety. Vincent Fisher, Wes Watson, Mike Forgione. Some people calling this guy Gollum Watson. We got Princess Azuli. A lot of different reactions, a lot of difference in, how this topic was treated, but we need to address it. So I'm not going to do the hitting the like, subscribe. You want to do that, watch the whole video, come to your own conclusion about if you want to join this community. So let's get this started.
You guys, every question is about Charlie Kirk. I didn't know who it was till I saw what happened. And the fact is, hey, rest in peace. I don't know who the guy is, so I don't know if I'm even supporting or good or bad guy. I would just rather just say positive shit about someone who lost their life. The whole thing is, you guys, I don't watch the news or pop culture or anything like that. Ask questions about personal growth.
Okay. That right there, I'm all the West roasting to the side, and there's things about this guy that I don't like. But that's Wes Watson. That's not the character, right? The mask is off, and he's showing humanity. The fact that he says rest in peace, I don't even know who the guy is. I don't know if he's good or bad. But when someone's life is taken, you want to wish them, hey, rest in peace. This is the guy that if he would have been this guy and stayed this guy and told his story, I don't think he would have any problems in life. I think he'd be smiling a lot more. He'd be happy. He'd have a great relationship with someone, right? So this is a good example of someone actually realizing, like, damn, that wasn't right. That was extreme. So on this one, I gotta tip my hat to Wes for letting the mask down and not coming out and doing the whole character thing on something this serious. Good look.
Personal branding, life, stuff like that.
Now, before I made this video, I thought a long time about it, right? It's been several days since all of this happened, and I really dwelled on my thoughts. I was like, should I make this video? Should I not? And so I consulted Mrs. Bubba, right? If you don't know who that is my wife, right? And I asked her, I was like, should I make this video? Look at these responses, okay? And you're going to see a different array of responses to this situation, but both my wife and I somehow reached the conclusion that out of all of the guys that you're about to see, Wes Watson had the best response. Wes Watson, he is a very selfish person. He doesn't care about anything other than grifting and stuff. But I suppose you could argue that he did the right thing, condolences, not wishing anything poor on those who have passed. And for the most part, it was a actual good response to a very serious situation. Besides the obvious grifting at the end. But in comparison to the others, this is a very tame one. Now, I would love to hear your perspective. This is simply the first one I'm showing, and maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it was a horrible response. No,
I think his response was human, right? He wasn't in character, and he didn't. I mean, yeah, the last part he was just saying, if you're gonna ask me a question, ask me about what I know, and then he went right into his thing. But I mean, I'm interested to see. You guys already know I'm not gonna do this whole video. I'm only gonna do a little bit of it. But if that was the best response, it was a great response, I think. But I wonder, let's see.
Shit, it's about to really ramp up a notch. So let me show you Vincent Fisher.
Yo, so boys, we just wrapped up a banger podcast called the In Your 20s podcast with my guy Pedro. He was asking me about the politics, the stuff that's going on. And, a lot of people are very surface level. A lot of people aren't very intelligent, right? And, the normal person would go, just because of gun rights. And, just because he didn't like gay people. But my mind goes, there's no money behind gun rights or gay people. What has the most money behind it that Kirk spoke against? Higher education. So I always thought, if I built a brand big enough talking shit about colleges and actually went college campus to college campus.
This is a serious video, right? I can't take anyone serious That's all I'm gonna say. What am I looking at? Put a shirt on, like be presentable. You're talking about something serious. I don't know.
Calling it an indoctrination vehicle funded by the Jews, at what point would I just get knocked off? At what point would it be cheaper to hire a hitman? That's my theory, and I think it makes the most sense, right? But maybe it just was an angry gay person, right? Maybe it was gun violence.
Vincent Fisher, instead of doing what Wes Watson said, right, giving his condolences, Vincent Fisher, for some reason, decided to peddle a very dangerous theory. What he said is an absolute mockery of anyone's intelligence. This guy, he tries to play that he's a really deep individual, that he's like some massive IQ. He's thinking in ways that nobody's thinking. But in the process, you just make yourself look like an ass. This guy had nothing to say in regards to condolences, how it's it's a huge problem in the United States that people are being taken out for their free speech. No. This guy, he just decides to set up the institution of university of college and try to make it like this conspiracy theory, because his whole entire grift is based around how college is worthless, right? Now, if you agree or disagree that college...
It's amazing what people like. Sometimes I wonder if these guys ever see their videos and think, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or you know what? Maybe I should take that video down. Obviously not, because they put out stuff.
A college education is worthless or what. I mean, that you're in your right? Free speech, okay? I'm not really here to debate if people should go to college or not. I'm just telling you what he's doing, right? He's trying to frame this within the context of his grift, except he takes it even further and then tries to allege an entire people group took Charlie Kirk out. I mean, this is just a mockery, bro. These guys, I mean, it is insane. And I'm trying to compose myself, because the more I talk about it, the more pissed off I get, because these are very serious things to talk about. And these guys don't give a fuck. They only care if they get more fans, more followers to buy into their grift. And it's honestly disturbing.
Charlie Kirk just got shot. This shit's clearly driven by the hater news. Literally. It's these news channels that brainwash their audience to think that the Republicans are evil people. It's no different from all these haters that are on YouTube that are brainwashing their audience to think that the so-called alpha males of the universe are evil.
Who has ever said anything about so-called alpha males being evil? I don't think any of us believe that any of these so-called alpha males are anywhere near alpha. The behavior is very beta. The fact that they get so riled up by a stranger that they have to make 1,000 videos responding is proof. But evil, wow.
I mean, it's like, what the are you guys trying to do with your audience? Why are you continuously putting out all of this misinformation and all this bullshit and driving all this hate? Even if your information is accurate, you are trying to be profitable to drive all this hate that leads to gunfire, fucking.
Can we get a case study of anybody on YouTube, especially in this genre, that has roasted someone, made fun of someone, and any harm came to them because of it? The only thing I can think of is Wes Watson inviting people to come to his gym, and then somebody showed up. Like, there's that violence, but there's nobody that we have roasted that has met any harm because of our videos. So it's wrong to say that. It's way out to say that.
Threats, crazy ass DMs that are happening. Like, fuck, little me, I only got 19,000 followers on Instagram, and I get 5 to 10 DMs a day with crazy shit that these nutcases say. And these are all driven by the haters that make the hater videos because they want to profit.
You made a video talking about calling me a bitch, and then you made another video talking about you were going to evict me, that you were my landlord and you were going to evict me. I thought it was funny. The second one. The first one was cowardly, you know. You're very far away and, you know, calling me names like that, whatever. But you can't make videos talking bad about people and then not consider that hate. If you're going to consider what we do, making fun of stuff, if you're going to consider that hate, you're doing the same thing.
Guys, figure out a better way to profit. There's other ways in this world to profit as opposed to driving hate. Nobody's going to listen. None of these clowns on the internet are going to listen. It's terrible, man.
I wish I had a mirror.
Pray for Charlie.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I saw this video and it pissed me off. I can't believe that this guy would griff Charlie Kirk passing away for his whole alpha male coach, and then take it a step further and try to allege that what happened with Charlie's situation is the same thing going on here.
Yes.
You know, I want to just crash out right now because it's a ridiculous claim. I have always supported free speech, and I have never told anybody to go, I don't know, bother these people. I've
None
never
of us
told
have.
anyone to comment. I've never even told anyone not to like this guy, the square, right? But they want to lie on my fucking name, and they want to lie on your name. How is this in any way comparable to what happened with Charlie Kirk? And then for him, this was like what? A minute 30 rant, 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then just at the end, he's like, oh, you know, pray for Charlie Kirk. What type of weirdo are you? What type of weirdo do you have to be to make that situation about yourself? I can't comprehend it. And I saw this Mike Forgione video, and I talked to Saintaholics, right? He's a good friend of the channel. I really appreciate all the work that he's doing, and he's fighting the good fight, right? And I talked to him about this, and I was like, these people are lunatics. There's nothing serious about Mike Forgione. He is an unserious man. For him to say that bullshit is a mockery of so many different values, it is truly mind-blowing. And I thought that was going to be it, right? And then he doubled down.
Boy, there's another video?
Charlie Kirk's death was driven by haters that turned into psychopaths.
Okay, haters, but how many people were involved? They got one person.
Why did these haters turn into psychopaths? Because they were driven by the false narrative that the media pushes out, and the false narrative that all the haters on all these hater video channels push out. I've been called out for saying it, but I'm going to say it again. It goes from the media to the hater. The hater then turns into an obsessed individual.
Hold on, man. Okay, let me just stop right here. You call people broke. You make fun of the way people are built. You make fun of what features they may or may not have. How are you? And you're allowed to. That's like what Bubba's saying. You're allowed to do that. Where did you get this soapbox from? Where did you find the audacity to point fingers at people when you are literally talking shit about men you've never met, you've never even seen, let alone met, you've never even seen. You brag about all the material things that you have. Like, how does that audacity at its finest?
That obsessed individual then turns into a psychopath, and that psychopath then targets who they want to target. I said it. And that's the way that it is. And that's the way that I feel. And that's what I truly believe. And these haters and these hater channels are responsible for all of the actions that happen from these people that go from hater to fucking obsessed to psychopath.
This guy's delusional. He continues to grift nonstop. Doesn't matter the situation. He'll say whatever he wants. And I'm supposed to take this guy seriously? This is just ridiculous. I upload clips that you voluntarily put on the internet.
Facts.
Not going on private accounts or anything like that. Simply just take clips that you put on the internet of your own choice, analyze it, never tell anyone to go bother people, and the conclusion that you arrive to is that we are on the same level of what happened to Charlie Kirk, and you want to call yourself a real fucking man? See, this is why we all just laugh at you, because you're a payaso. And when these really serious moments happen, you see tests of character. You see the type of person an individual is when they're tested in a stressful or serious situation. You know, maybe over the course of watching this video, you've disagreed with some of the things I've said. And
I'm gonna stop there because I would prefer that you guys go over there and watch. This is a great video that Bubba's doing, and I've seen enough. You know, Wes, I can't. Great response. You know, a human response. He let the guard down. These other two, they're still in character. I really do believe that this Mike guy is upset, but he's upset at the wrong people, obviously. And you know, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrible, right? But to try to use that as the vehicle to get people in this genre to no longer make fun of you, no. The video, this right here, is the exact reason why people are gonna be like, make more videos. And we like Bubba said, you put out videos that we are allowed to pick at and critique and make fun of. And that's, I mean, if you want to talk about it, I'm not gonna get into it. But a lot of us on YouTube have had stalkers. Let's just say that, right? It unfortunately comes with the territory. And I don't blame the trolls, people that troll me for, I had a stalker for a while, right? And I don't blame the trolls. People make their own decisions on whether or not to love or hate somebody. So this is very, it's very unfortunate that this guy has made it into that in his head. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys go over to Bubba's channel and watch the rest of this video. I will, myself. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.